Do you want me to host?
Huh?
Do you want me to host?
Yeah.
Sure. Yes.
Yeah?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I can host.
Okay, you host. You go for gold.
All right.
All right, floor's yours.
Actually, I changed my mind. I don't want to host. I think that we should totally start with a song and a spiritual thought, and our spiritual thought could just be I don't know, like a Gandhi quote or something.
All right, Sister Donna, you need to prepare your spiritual quote. You've got about 2 seconds.
Oh my god!
Oh, my favorite quote from Under the Banner of Heaven. Right at the very end when what's the other detective's name?
Taba.
Yeah, he's singing that Indian song, and then the Mormon guy's like, "Oh, do you think it holds power?" And he's like, "No, I just sing it because I like it." And I was like, I really like that because I don't know, sometimes I feel bad when I'm singing church songs because I'm like, oh, the church is shit, but now I'm like, oh, I actually like this song and it's okay to sing it because it doesn't hold any power over me and I'm allowed to like it.
Yeah.
So
that's
beautiful. There you go. There's your spiritual thought.
Thank you for your spiritual thought. Amen.
Yeah.
I believe the church is in better condition than it has been at any time in its entire history. My beloved brethren and sisters,
welcome to Once Upon a Mormon,
another testament of religious abuse.
So many have been hurt. Persecutions may rage. Mobs may combine.
Whom shall we go?
Sown in corruption. We need you.
Never again.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of Once Upon a Mormon. My name is Brother Hiram, and today I am also joined by Sister Donna.
May. Oh, yeah. Okay, cool.
I was hoping you'd both jump in there and introduce yourself, but then you didn't, and then anyway.
Yeah.
I feel like you tried to make eye contact, but it doesn't really work.
Yeah, exactly. I'm eye contacting on the screen, but the camera's above it. Anyway,
love that.
Joined by Sister May and Sister Donna. Welcome, sisters.
Hello.
Hey.
Nice.
What a beautiful spiritual thought. I too sing him sometimes inadvertently.
Yep.
I mean, Book of Mormon stories is kind of a bop.
Yeah.
I enjoy it.
And I sing a child's prayer to my child going to sleep. So
really?
I feel like that's a nice little one that I don't know, it's cute.
Yeah. They stick in your head. They really do for years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Never goes away. But
just like the trauma.
The trauma never leaves you.
Yeah.
So in other news, sisters, what has been going on? What's happening in life? Please enlighten us about a certain move.
So many things.
I'm just going to preface this by don't move with Sister Donna.
Oh, yeah, don't move with me. It's a bit of a nightmare. I don't know what I'm doing.
Yes.
Brother Hiram, basically coordinated all of it for me because I was hopeless. I moved house. I moved into a share house. And it's good. It's just been I don't know, real estate's a dicks and bond cleaners that didn't show up, and then they did show up, but then didn't do a good enough job, and then
they took money,
tried. Though. Yeah, they took my money. Totally been scammed. Yeah, and then, yesterday I tried to go back to the house to finish off the cleaning because the real estate had sent a list of things that needed to be done. And I got there and there were already cleaners there.
What a bargain.
Yeah. But I wasn't told about it. I had to finish work early to rush down there to get this stuff done. And I got there and what had happened was the owners had sent their own cleaners to finish off the job, and the real estate knew nothing about it. And it was all just a big fuck around. But I think for now, everything is done. I just called my electricity company before to close the account there, so that's all sorted. So I think that is it, hopefully.
Well,
and I
the
can
saga continues.
Yeah, well, hopefully I can just kind of get settled into this place now and not have to stress too much about the old place. But yeah, Brother Hiram was a huge help on the weekend that I moved. He, helped us organize absolutely everything because I was just getting so overwhelmed.
You know what's even funny, though? I made a deal with the devil. I called the missionaries.
Yeah.
Did they show up?
Yeah, we had the missionaries at our house.
Oh, okay. So get this right. So I called the missionaries. I organized it days before. They're absolutely lovely. They're cool guys. And I organized them to get there. And I was running late picking up the trailer. And as I'm pulling up, the missionaries are leaving. I'm like, well, where are you going? I'm like, oh, your sister Donna, said that she didn't need us. So we're just going to head off. I'm like, she what? And so here I am marching inside. Why are they leaving? And she's like, I didn't know if we had much to do for them. I'm like, we're literally moving house and you've only just started packing.
I think I'd sent them off with like a bunch of stuff to take to Salvo's. I'm like, I don't know what to do with you people and I feel weird about you being in my house.
Get them back to mow the lawn.
Can you go into the yard? Like, I don't know. Yeah.
All in all,
but it was
worked
cool.
out.
They ended up being pretty helpful, and we got them fish and chips, and we I think we asked some pretty good questions to them. We had a little bit of a discussion about the whole, the church not being allowed to be called the Mormon Church anymore, and how literally
we had a discussion with them. They didn't have a discussion with us.
Oh yeah, they didn't really I don't know. They gave the whole, stock standard response, which is like, oh, well, like the prophet wants us to focus the attention back on Jesus Christ in the name of the church and blah, blah, blah. And like, yeah, but like also the church spent millions of dollars on this whole advertising campaign for I'm a Mormon like a few years ago. And like, that just doesn't matter anymore. Like, what the hell?
And I think they were under the impression, because when I called them, like I used all the proper Mormon terminology. And so I think they thought I was an active member.
Yeah.
And then over lunch, they're like, oh, how do you know each other? And I'm like, oh, we have a podcast talking about our trauma from the church.
We have an anti-Mormon podcast. And
I didn't say anti-Mormon. That would scare them off. I said, I used to be a member. Oh, what do you mean? I had my records removed. What?
And see, I missed all of this. I came down to help, and then my child projectile vomited all over my grandparents' house. So that kind of put a spanner in the works for me.
That's the funniest part is you came all the way out. What was it, like 3 hours?
Yeah.
And you spent a whole week up here. So that way we could record heaps of episodes, help Sister Donna move, and then you didn't turn up.
And then your baby was just sick the whole time.
Well, you were sick as well. You got pretty crook.
Yeah, I was very sick. And your partner got COVID, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. So that just.
Oh yeah. Are you COVID free, Brother Hiram?
Fuck yeah.
Oh yeah. Wow. Damn, you got those good genes.
I don't want to speak too soon, but Mum was also exposed to COVID in the household, and she has avoided it. So I think it's just my strong white genetics.
Are you sure?
It's the priesthood.
Have you guys been
nothing can colonize the colonizer.
That's so bad. Oh my god.
Oh god.
Is that racist?
Is that?
It's. I don't think you mean it to be.
A little bit on the nose, but okay. Quote of the day: nothing can colonize a colonizer.
Yeah.
Colonize.
Anyway,
second spiritual thought of the day.
Moving on. I think we're all starting to feel better though, except me. Yeah. I'm just stressed because I'm dealing with somebody. Speaking of a partner, I'm planning a wedding, and the whole thing turned to shit. And so I'm now replanning a wedding for the third time, and it is in 7 weeks, 6 weeks.
Fuck.
Luckily,
It's
I'm an
gonna be
expert planner.
fine.
Oh, it's great. Like I've locked it all in. I've locked most of it in today, and it's going to work out really well. But it is stressful trying to get information out of a certain other half that's like, oh, it'll be right. We'll just enjoy the day. I'm like, we have to plan it to enjoy it.
Yeah.
He's very spur of the moment, and I must plan.
Everything's like nothing goes to plan with the wedding anyway. So like, best not to get too hung up on making.
Just imagine
sure
if you and him were together planning a wedding. It just wouldn't happen.
No. I was there when Sister Donna was planning her first wedding.
Yeah. I think I did pretty well with that, but I gotta say, like, the church did most of it. Like,
Yeah.
Leave it up to the Relief Society.
Yeah.
And then your sister left the fucking cake in the car for like 5 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, she did do that. And and other things went wrong though. Like the song that I walked down the aisle to, like at our ring ceremony / reception.
You walk down the pews towards the pulpit.
No, it was in the basketball court.
I think I said
Classic.
the bathroom. It was the baptismal font.
No, it was in the rec hall, like we had to hide the basketball hoop, and we put like drapes on the ceiling and like fairy lights. It looked nice. It was okay.
Yeah. I remember you were so fussed about the fucking bows on the back of the chairs. You're like, you're not doing it right. And I'm like, it's a fucking bow. Like, how am I not doing it right?
It's a free wedding. You're not even paying for it.
Yeah, man. I was a total bridezilla. I was like, everybody just make this perfect for me. You're not doing that thing right. You're not doing this.
And then 2 weeks before the wedding, when you tried your wedding dress on, you're like, can we change the sleeves? And I was like, I will murder you.
No.
I think it's worth noting that Sister May made it.
Oh, yeah. Sister May made my wedding dress. Because she is an absolute genius when it comes to that stuff.
Yes.
Let's just change the whole design of the dress 2 weeks before the wedding. Thanks.
Yeah.
Bro, I legit cried so much making your wedding dress. Holy shit. All those fucking buttons. I sat there for hours sewing the buttons on. God damn.
It's a labor of love.
Yeah. I mean, exactly.
Tested me.
Hey man, you got out of like planning a hen's night for me by making the wedding dress. So
that's true. Yeah.
Wouldn't that be easier though?
Yeah.
Just plan it and don't tell her. Just turn up.
We could do like the opposite of a hen's night now.
Yeah, Brother Hiram, are you going to have a box night?
To be completely honest, I hadn't even thought of it.
Dude, we should plan something for you.
Yes.
I probably could actually.
Let's do it.
We okay.
Later,
Definitely
you and I, Sister Donna,
we'll reconvene after this.
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
I'll fill you in on my schedule later on.
Yes.
Because there are a few things. It's a very busy time, which leads us into one of the other points I was going to make. Thank you all for sticking with us.
Yes.
It will be a little bit sporadic at the moment. There is a lot going on, and trying to mix and match schedules is extremely difficult. So we haven't forgotten about you. Those of you that have spoken to us about being on the podcast, we definitely have not forgotten about you. And so, it's just, trying to find time at the moment. We're all, working a lot of hours, and we're all got a lot of commitments on. It's just that time of the year. So thank you and sorry. We're at the moment, I think we can't commit to anything more than fortnightly, at least, if less. So you probably won't hear from us for another couple of weeks after this. But if you do, lucky you. Yeah, that's all I can say.
Guys, maybe if you just started paying us some tithing and we didn't have to work so much.
It's all about that paid clergy.
Yeah. We'd be able to, give out more content. But, we are restrained by our circumstances as they are. So,
yep.
Yeah.
But
thank you for being patient with us.
We're nearly at 500 listens. So
that's pretty cool.
It just sort of slowed down a little bit because we haven't released anything. So,
And I've been really slack on the social media. Oh my God, I was talking to my therapist about it and she is so proud of us, guys.
Aw, really?
She was like, yeah, she was so like kind of shocked when I was telling her like about all the statistics, and she was like, oh well, that must be like a really great like healthy healing space for you. And I was like, yes.
it's funny because I got to the point where I've just stopped seeing my psychologist because I'm like, you know what, this is cheaper.
Oh, I'm
Love
so
that.
glad we can be that for you. This is amazing.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, going so good.
So I guess, we haven't really got much time left. Our time is close to being up. Like I said, we're going to talk like 5 minutes as a bit of an intro, but it's been like 15.
Yeah.
So we just want to do a little quick run through over the Banner of Heaven. I believe we've all finished watching it now. And holy shit, what the actual fuck.
It was so good.
It was
I
great.
was so confused at the end. Like, is he still a part of the church? Did he leave? Like,
Cliffhanger.
I don't know. I got to tell you, I was like definitely falling asleep in like the last 20 minutes of that last episode.
I did notice that. I had to wake you up a couple of times.
It was past 10 p.m. and I was tired.
okay, Grandma.
I was on the edge of my seat though.
I know. So
It was
like
intense.
yeah, it was really, really good show. Like I really enjoyed it. I want to watch it again now because I feel like I was kind of half asleep for some really good bits.
I think as a couple of highlights. What would you say were some of your highlights, Sister Donna?
I think where like Brother Pyrie's wife, what's her name? I can't remember now. But like how she was like really concerned about the girls' baptisms and about like pushing them off and stuff and like how it would be perceived and all of that. I thought that like, I don't know, that sort of stuck out to me a little bit. Because like I don't know if you guys know, but like I think like if you don't get baptized by the time you're 9, I think like the kid has to get they're treated like a convert baptism, so they have to get like missionary discussions and stuff, and like that is looked down upon a lot in the church, I think. And I just think that's kind of shitty because, it's a lot of like pressure to be putting on these kids to like get baptized. And obviously like they, like they just have no informed consent about it and they're just doing it to please their families and stuff. And like, and everything is a perception thing. Like, the mum didn't want the people in her ward to be concerned if her kids weren't baptized straight away. And I just thought that was really interesting. And then also like, where the stake president comes in and is basically like threatening the police department. Like,
the tea.
Yeah.
He comes in and dusts his feet like, holy shit.
Yeah.
I know. I was like, goddamn.
Like that got me. Like I'm like, wow. Yeah. Like this is it. I words can't describe how much of a cover up the church does. Just to see them portray that type of cover up is just insane.
But my favorite thing, he dusted his feet with so much fucking sass, and I was like, holy shit, you need to calm down. Like, it's like he did the whole like look over his shoulder and like kind of thing, and I was like, okay, like,
you better work, bitch.
When I've heard people like talk about dusting their feet to someone, that is not at all what I'd pictured. Like, I literally just thought it was kind of like, you don't even touch your feet, you just sort of like like kind of moonwalk them backward, like back a little bit. Like that's what I thought it was going to look like. I didn't realize that people like bent down and like dusted like this fake dust off their heel or whatever.
And then the blood oath. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah, like, I mean, obviously when we went through the temple, like they didn't have that anymore, but like the show was set back in Like, is it the 70s or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like, you know, and so in that time they still had that whole blood oath thing. But I think it was really cool that the producers and everything like found out so much about like all the temple rituals and stuff. Like they even, you know, had all of the temple clothing spot on and everything. Like I thought that was really cool.
They probably just bought it.
Yeah. I should have sold mine.
I think, okay, so the biggest kicker for me was the way they portrayed the relationship between Emma and Joe. Like the way they portrayed Emma Smith was just, it was a big eye opener of, you know, you don't get taught this side of things in the church. You kind of just, you really get taught the whitewashed version and the actual side of it where, you know, they A, don't treat women properly, but B, how people actually objected to it and then covered it up.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, I always thought it was really strange because I had known, I don't know, like, where I'd found out or whatever, but I had known for a while that Emma Smith, like, after Joseph died, like, she left the church. She went and joined, like, some different, like, branch of the church because I think she wanted her son to be the next prophet. And then they made it Brigham Young instead. And I always thought that was really strange because I'm like, surely, like, the wife of the prophet would have, like, a really firm testimony in this whole restored gospel. And, like, why? Like, if she doesn't believe it's true, like, what does that say about the church as a whole? You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I've always been taught that, like, she left and started the FLDS church because she wanted her son to be the prophet so much that that's why she did it. But since watching Under the Banner of Heaven, I'm like, well,
did she
is that actually true? Like,
I'm not actually sure.
Yeah.
Because I think
we didn't do our research.
I don't, because I don't think she was, like, too keen on the whole polygamy side of things. So it seems, strange. But I mean, at that stage, polygamy was still very much a part of the mainstream church, and you know, continued to be for quite a while.
Like the way they portrayed it when, you know, Joe comes to her and is like, you know, I would like to have multiple wives. And she's like, no. And then he's like, oh, hang on. I'm getting a vision. Hang on.
Yeah.
Thus saith the Lord.
Thus saith the Lord.
And it's like, you're full of shit.
Yeah. And he literally, you know, he threatens her with, like, utter destruction, you know.
Yeah.
You won't do what I say. You won't let me have another wife, and you know what?
Yeah,
you're going to be destroyed.
Yeah.
I had a really interesting discussion with my dad actually about all of that after watching Under the Banner of Heaven and then that Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey. I sat there and because I remember in Under the Banner of Heaven they talked about this book that Joseph had written that the regular Mormons don't read, but then the FLDS do. And so
what was that called again? That red book.
I told him, I was like, well, like, wouldn't the FLDS people be living the original Mormon commandments then? Like, aren't they the most pure version of Mormonism there is?
Yeah.
They only stopped polygamy from the pressure from the government.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean, and that's exactly what the Lafferty brothers were saying. They're just like, you know, the FLDS are following the church doctrine, like, more than what the actual, like, mainstream church is. And that's and they're not wrong. Like, they're absolutely true because, like, back when the church was founded, polygamy was A-okay. You did have to have, like, multiple wives to get into the celestial kingdom. You know, like, marrying 14-year-olds was totally fine. Like, you know, like, when the church was founded and, you know, for a church that's constantly saying that God doesn't change and that his doctrine doesn't change and stuff, like, you know, then why is all of that stuff suddenly not okay? And the only reason that it's not okay is because of the law and because of society. And
that never stopped Joe Smith before.
No, yeah, that's a fair point.
Fuck the law.
And
the church just knows that if they continue to live those same doctrines, like they're just not going to have that many people interested.
Yeah,
they're not going to be getting all of that tithing money because everybody will be like, hold up, like multiple wives, that's a bit extreme. I don't want to be part of that anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't got a massive amount of time tonight, so I guess one of the final points that I think is worth noting is the difference in the portrayal of the so-called martyrdom of Joseph Smith. So, again, the Mormon washed version is that, the mobs were chasing him and, they came and attacked him and killed him in jail and he was a martyr. When realistically, he ordered this printing press to be burnt. It was a state printing press, and they printed information about the church, and he's like, "Oh, I don't like that. I'm just going to burn you down." And he was finally arrested, put in jail to be held accountable for his actions, not just then, but ever since he started the church. And then these people finally caught up with him because he'd caused so much hurt, heartache, and destruction and murder in some cases. And it wasn't a martyrdom at all. They just shot him. He was the one that was fighting back as well. Like, you're not a martyr if you fight back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it has to be for a reasonable cause as well.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is, like, the church portrays this beautiful angelic version of it when realistically he's not a good guy.
No.
He's an he is a felon.
He's a felon.
He's a criminal.
He's a pedophile. He's he misleads tens of thousands of people.
He's a liar and a scoundrel.
But
Good quote. Thank you, Lola Holland.
That's what Sister Donna's dad called me one day, and then he blocked me. I still don't know why or what.
A liar and a scoundrel.
Yeah, so that's what I am.
I can't remember what happened with that, but yeah, you're a liar and a scoundrel.
Yeah.
How'd you earn that title? Solid effort.
Fucking no idea. I called him. What did I call him?
I don't know.
Some.
You probably called him a dickhead, and he was just like, oh, "How dare you call me out on my bullshit?"
You must respect my priesthood.
Literally, he told my parents that they needed to punish me, and so my parents sat me down. They're like, "You can't call people those kind of names," and blah blah blah. And then my mom walked out of the room. My dad high-fived me. And I was like, "Thanks, mate." But I did want to go back to the Joseph Smith thing. That photo that has been going around of like the actual photo of him. How fucking creepy is it? Like, his eyes make me want to throw up.
Yeah.
It's funny because, like, I've seen on TikTok and Facebook all these Mormons jumping on the bandwagon of trying to defend it. It's like, that's it's only just shown up and, there's no proof that it's actually him and yada, yada, yada. And it's like, dude, you're just defending him again and again because you don't necessarily have a complete testimony, but you feel like you should.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, something I just wanted to also bring up. I saw something on the Australian post-Mormon community page. Somebody had shared it was they shared this post by an active member who was basically talking about like in response to Under the Banner, and talking about how the gospel is like a giant puzzle piece where you make the picture out of the pieces that you have. Like, you start from the edges and you work in, and sometimes you'll pick up a piece that doesn't make sense and you don't know where it fits. But you don't just throw the whole puzzle away. You put it aside and keep working on the puzzle until eventually the piece fits. And it's all about, if you've got questions, it's like a piece of that puzzle. Yeah.
We're not putting it on the shelf anymore. We're just putting it in a pile.
Yeah, we're just putting these puzzle pieces in a pile for later. But some of the comments to that I really enjoyed, because somebody was like, yeah, but who wants to waste their time on a puzzle that literally just makes them depressed? And I'm not going to spend my entire life working on this puzzle and still not figuring it out, and it's just a disgusting picture anyway.
And how do we know if the puzzle's actually going to go together?
Yeah,
You get a couple of random pieces and you're like, oh, this is the puzzle and this will go fit together. How do you know they're not from completely different puzzles?
Yeah.
It's like one of those 50-cent op shop pieces of shit puzzle.
Yeah.
You're not sure if all the pieces are there.
And it's bound to be missing pieces.
It's one of the nursery room puzzles, you know, that's like missing 5 pieces because
it's lob it all over, bit in half.
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know, and really, like, you could just throw out the puzzle and go and enjoy something else. Like, yeah. I don't know. I thought that was, if you guys can find that post for people who aren't in that community, it's a good page. They share a lot of cool stuff. Very relatable.
It's a good page.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. It's there's good stuff on there.
Yeah.
So,
good community.
Absolutely.
But we are all a community. You know, we are growing and learning together and we stick together and, you know, we come through this.
We're all trauma bonded.
We are trauma bonded.
Trauma bonded.
Speaking of trauma bonding, well, I think that's about all we have time for tonight. Any closing statements, sisters?
I don't. I was just about to say the thing that Joe and Smith say in their podcast, which is like, remember who you are and what you stand for. I mean, it's a good quote. That.
Oh,
we should.
Speaking of Joe and Smith, I apologize for not answering email yet. We still do want to have these guys on our podcast when we can
besties.
And we can actually schedule something. We're just not scheduling well at the moment, but we'll get there.
And Sister May's about to go away for like 4 weeks.
Sister May, I might delegate that authority to you. Oh,
you're going to Perth.
Fuck yeah, bitches.
Yes.
Mission Central.
Fuck yeah.
So yeah, it'll be a while before we all get back together properly.
Yeah.
So please stick with us. We love you guys. If you do have any questions, comments, hit us up on Facebook or onceuponamoment@gmail.com. I once promised that we would answer as quick as we can. I can only now promise that I'll actually read them.
It's okay. I will read them. Responding.
Sister May, I'm gonna delegate responding to Sister May. I have the priesthood keys, and I will delegate those priesthood keys. So
I respect and sustain your authority.
So anyway,
I'm just a secretary. I just mark the roll.
You have no authority.
You guys are both present. I've done my job. Peace out.
Cool.
Well, thanks for joining us, everyone. We hope to see you next time when it is next time. So
love you.
We leave these things with you in the name of Andrew Pyrie Garfield. Amen.
Amen.
Till we meet,
till we meet at Pyrie's feet.